The opportunity to partner in it is so epic. I mean, for Ray to send his team and say, hey, here's a prime spot, park and have access to our leadership capital and interview them and have conversations and coffee and food and meet them and share your story. Like, not just listen, but really tell them what you're doing. It encourages me because it tells me that there are churches who are in legacy status, right? Ray's church is over 30 years old, and they're intentionally seeking out the stories of the next generation. That, to me, is gold. Rolling into my father-in-law's and getting to share a meal together, and more so like him preparing food. Like, he prepared for our arrival, and like, could we have stayed at a hotel? Obviously, easily, but relationships go deeper when we choose to inconvenience ourselves, right? And the story gets richer when we opt to do the harder thing. And somebody's hospitality is always going to cost.
You got it, man. All right, bro.
Traveling gives you this really interesting space to think. And it's funny because I used to think that like the only way I'd want to travel is by flying, and it's weird. You think differently when you're on a plane going somewhere than you do when you're in a car going somewhere. You ever realize that? Like, the people you're with and the way that you are preparing to get from point A to point B is so different when you're in a car and on an airplane. And
we have a chance to stay at Gil's house while we're here, and it's been amazing to have those times that fill you up afterwards, when you're running side by side with people and you're going and everybody's hustling, but then to go back to a place and have time to just talk about the day, talk about what's going on in life, and spend time with those people has been great.
When I think of these conferences or I think of these events, they're nothing. Like, you can have a great attitude, they're gonna be fun. That's regardless though. I think the most powerful thing about anything you do is the people you surround yourself with. And even to the extent of something small of like, hey, your friends are in town, we're gonna be doing this thing together, let's put you up at a hotel, this or that, or you going to a hotel. It's like, why? Like, we have homes, we have rooms. Like, community. The word community is like, I think we forget what community really is. It's not just the people you may live by or the neighborhood you're in, but it's the relationships and the bonds you have with people that you do stuff with.
With Nolan being here, it's one of my favorite things. It's so unique, and yet it's like so in with who Jesus was. Jesus wrapped so many great moments around food, and I'm a penny pincher by nature, and so sometimes you can feel like you're not stewarding your budget well by buying a bunch of food for people, but then you remember that some of the best conversations happen over a plate of food between two people or between three people.
Cook food for the team and for the people at Thrive. It was just something I got so excited about, and it's an opportunity for me to kind of be in a place where I can do something that I love to do and connect with people, which I love to do. I love cooking food, and when Mingo told me about it, it was his whole image was create a hospitable environment. Just food in general is the common language. Everybody's got to eat. Everybody's got to take time and eat, and that's what it's about out here. Is like we first speak the common language with other people, and then we start to get to know each other.
In the Airstream at Thrive Conference in Sacramento, we are stuffed to the gills with some social media mavens, if I will. Several people who have influence in the tens of thousands, but more importantly, people who have a deep conviction about what matters most when we share what's happening in each of our personal lives. And as our audience is made up largely of emerging leaders inside of ministry and seasoned leaders, this is such a timely topic for this generation and the generation that's trying to figure out whether or not social really is a key component that they should or shouldn't invest in.
So it's interesting how many talks we've been having on social media. And I have this weird relationship with social media right now because I want to post more and I want to share, but I go to post and I'm like, I don't have the words, or I have this like, I'm stunted by what people are going to feel and perceive when they see my post, and I'm like, how is this worded that's going to uplift people, and how is this worded that's going to not be of like me-centered?
The fourth being today, some of the dark sides that we have to address with social media.
Wanting to know and it just becomes this addiction where I need to know everything that's happening. If I don't know, I feel like I'm missing out. And sometimes you're so focused online in front of that screen instead of being present with the things around you, having a family, being a dad.
Whatnot a little bit. So I would just encourage people, just move forward in wisdom. Don't vilify it. There's a verse in Ecclesiastes that says, a man who fears God avoids all extremes.
I'd say that I'd definitely learn about social. Definitely, if you can figure it out, but it may not be you. You may not be someone that's good at posting, that likes to post, that doesn't. And so if it's not, then you're wasting your time and talents in an area where you could maybe be doing something different.
For our listeners, we love you guys. For the YouTube livers or Facebook livers, we love you guys too. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Look forward to being with you.
Thanks.
Doing this ministry, it doesn't have like a consistency by way of team. Like, we don't hire a bunch of people to travel with us. It's really it's a volunteer-led effort. And so when we left Catalyst, I was thinking to myself, man, this is a 15-person effort, and there's a lot of fun that comes with having a team that size. But there's something different about this round. I love that it was, all of us just piling into one car and making that run. I was telling Gus, one of the guys on our trip, Gus taking our photos, like, this feels so much more intimate this round, right? Like,
I consider just another family for me. It's just such an honor, and I feel like I use that word so much, but it truly is.
Every time I get to be around this group of people, I just feel extremely empowered to be myself completely and authentically and genuinely. Mingo and Johnny and everyone else on the team just allows me to be creative in my own way. They kind of just are like, you're here and do what you know how to do, and do it the way that you do it without setting up an expectation of it has to look this specific way.
This was version 2.0 of the prayer interaction here at Thrive. We got to set it up for Catalyst, and it was difficult to set up. We had a lot of problems, but we made it happen, and it went off amazingly.
read everyone's sticky notes, and even seeing people go into it today is just powerful because I know what they're about to experience and they don't, and so it's like you see them going in and you're just so excited for the powerful experience that they're going to have with that installation. A lot of people don't even know what it is. They just go to take pictures with it, and then God meets them there in that moment where they're given the opportunity to surrender a lot of their burdens and a lot of things in their heart internally that they probably didn't know were even there.
So unexpected things, they're always going to come rushing in, and like no matter how much you plan to have an incredible offering, like the thing that you're gonna do, you just cannot avoid the unexpected things come in, and it's not always bad. Like I got a call yesterday that like they need or they want me to like help preach on Sunday at Saddleback.
The stuff we didn't plan for happened as soon as he got this call from church saying, "Hey Mingo, we need you to jump in. We need you to speak this Sunday."
Preach on Sunday. Got a call, so I gotta go, dude. But the team is in such good hands. John's gonna crush it. I'm excited for him. I'll catch you on Sunday, dude.